People like to know how one files for divorce in Colorado. And it's actually super easy. Colorado has promulgated, published forms that are very easy to use. And you can download them from the court website, and you can complete the petition for divorce. You sign it. You can actually have your spouse sign it as well as a co-petitioner if they're amenable. But filing for divorce is exceedingly simple. Sometimes I think too simple. Many of our clients come to us having already filed, and this can be problematic because how we begin the divorce is very important. What we ask for, how we ask for it, what we include, what we don't include in the filing for divorce can have very important strategic reasons behind it. We always prefer to file for our clients rather than have them file and then come to us. But how one files is you get the correct form from the state of Colorado and you fill it out and you bring it to court with your filing fee, and then you have to get your spouse served. In order to be divorced in Colorado, one of the criteria you have to meet is that you must, at least one party, has to be a resident of the state of Colorado for at least 91 days prior to filing. In Colorado, the parties to a divorce can be petitioner, co-petitioner, and/or respondent. It's funny, a lot of states have plaintiffs and defendants, and the plaintiff is the person who got to court first. But Colorado doesn't do that. And in fact, if parties file together, even if they're not agreed on anything, they could be petitioner and co-petitioner. Or if one party goes to court by themselves and gets the stuff filed, then the other party will be the respondent. What does it mean? It means they're the second one. It doesn't have any real effect during the course of the divorce as to how assets or debts are divided, how children, the responsibilities for children are allocated, how parenting time is allocated. It's just one's the party who got there first and the other one's the party who got there second. Interesting question is whether a spouse can file for divorce if the other spouse doesn't want to, doesn't want the divorce, doesn't want to file, doesn't want to participate. And the answer is absolutely. In fact, maybe that's a sign that the marriage isn't going so well, is that the parties are so divided even on this question. But it only takes one party to file for divorce in Colorado. In Colorado, there are fairly few steps involved in acquiring a divorce, in dissolving a marriage. Those steps can have lots and lots of sub-steps, but the steps involved in actually getting a divorce are actually fairly simple. It begins with one must file for divorce and then serve the other party or have the other party file as a co-petitioner. And that takes care of the service. But both parties have to know about it, or we have to take a lot of steps to at least really try hard for the other party to know. Then the parties must exchange what are called mandatory disclosures. Basically, all the information that they have about their current financial circumstances. They have to exchange them so that each party can take the next step with full knowledge of what's going on. The third step is simply to come to an agreement. What are we going to do with all of our assets, all of our debts? How are we going to deal with the allocation of parental responsibilities and parenting time? If you can come to an agreement, then that is reduced to a settlement agreement. And then the court issues a decree, accepts the settlement agreement, and you're done. That's the most simple. Now, if you don't agree to these things during it, then the questions about division of assets, division of debts, allocation of parental responsibilities, parenting time, and more must be decided by the court. And then the steps get more expansive because then at least a final orders or permanent orders hearing has to be scheduled, probably a temporary orders hearing, and then there are lots more steps that help us get to those stages. But a basic divorce can be handled very simply through just a few steps, and those steps can go much quicker and easier with a law firm that guides you through them.